Every self-respecting stud farm inevitably develops its own trademark or byline. MOUTONSHOEK, situated in the Piketberg Mountains, has a very simple one. MOUTONSHOEK's byline is, where the horse comes first.
Historically, as South Africans, we easily fall into the trap where we've in the past gotten hold of individuals with good pedigrees, and because of our history of isolation and everything that goes with it, it is automatic for us to assume that there was no racing ability with that, because that was kind of the ceiling of our expectation. And that's why it is important to know and note that MAMBO in Seattle exactly broke that mold. He was one of the best racehorses of his generation. His sensational pedigree, being by King MAMBO out of our own sister, a classic placed own sister to AP Indy, does give him a sensational pedigree. But it should not be allowed to detract from the fact that he was a superb racehorse, time form 121, and one of the best of his generation. And being such a handsome individual and such an imposing character with such a lovely temperament, and the King MAMBO sons stepping to the fore as stallions worldwide, we have a lot to look forward to, and we simply can't wait.
In the gate, and they're off. Cosmic and Chris got even, and Pascal with speed on the outside. Over toward the rail, 'Tis Big as they race into the first turn. And now those two will go head-to-head. 2.5 lengths behind them, it's Chris got even running in third. You and I Forever is fourth in a break of 3. Back to Cosmic and MAMBO in Seattle. The first quarter was quick, 23 1/5 seconds. They're a half mile from home now. 'Tis Big and Neck, Pascal second. MAMBO in Seattle now, third on the outside, with 3 furlongs to go, 3/4 in 12 3. Moving toward the top of the stretch, Pascal so narrowly. 'Tis Big on the inside. MAMBO in Seattle right there on the outside. You and I Forever just in behind the lead. Now You and I Forever has been switched to the outside. Cosmic followed by Chris got even. And then farther back, Amped, who's now about 7 from the lead. Coming to the 8th pole. Here comes You and I Forever up to engage MAMBO in Seattle. MAMBO in Seattle is determined. You and I Forever, full of run. Those two hit the wire together, and MAMBO in Seattle would not be denied.
Running against the best, competing with the best. The Travis Stakes that he basically dead heated in Group 1, the last of the classics, with Colonel John. There were 7 stallions in that race. All but one behind him, and even the one that was behind him wasn't really behind him, and thank goodness for that, otherwise he would have stood in America for 20,000 US. Instead he stands in South Africa for 25,000 Rand. I have to say that he's been brilliantly supported by local breeders. People have bought shares and people have supported him with an excellent book, so he has every chance.
And they are off in the 139th Travers. And Datara strikes out for the lead right from the beginning here. Here's Trace Barachos coming up from the far outside. 'Tis Big isn't far behind, under the line the first time. For the Belmont winner, Datara, who takes the field into the backstretch run for the Travers. On the outside is 'Tis Big, prompting the pace in second. And then it's Cool Coleman running along in third. Colonel John is fourth. Tail of Akati has room to run through on the inside, 5th. After the half mile and a sensible 48 seconds flat. Trace Barachos back to 6th. Macho again is 7th, and he's only 4 lengths from the lead with 4.5 furlongs to go. Then it's MAMBO in Seattle, followed closely by Pyro. Pyro is pinned down on the inside. He'll eventually have to get some running room. In the meantime, Harlem Rocker is rolling on the far outside. Datara trying to do it all the way on the lead. 'Tis Big still pressing harder, but a length and a half behind in second. Alan Garcia full out on Datara as the field turns for home. Tail of Akati comes through on the inside. Tight quarters for Colonel John. Tight quarters for Macho Uno. He had to check sharply on the outside. Harlem Rocker and MAMBO in Seattle. 1 furlong to go. Wide open. Here's Colonel John. Short lead. MAMBO in Seattle runs at him. A 16th from home. Colonel John digs down. MAMBO in Seattle surges. It's going to be a photo finish in the Travers. Too close to call. It was Colonel John, the winner of the Travers Stakes. Colonel John was the winner. Mambo in Seattle was second. Pyro was third. And Harlem Rucker was fourth.
Benny van der Merwe and Chris Gerber know only too well that South African stallion power is well documented both here and abroad. So perhaps it's really a case of the quality of your broodmares to mate to the stallion power that is available in South Africa. But then there's another aspect, the acquisition of one's own stallion. A tall order, but they think they've got the answers. Lot number 171 from MOUTONSHOEK is Bomi. She's in stable C23 and she's a daughter of Tiger Ridge out of the Sports World mare Gay Regina. Gay Regina herself was an absolute flying machine and is out of the mare Welsh Damsel herself, a half-sister to Celtic Grove. Lot number 171, her name is Bomi and she's in stable block C23. Lot number 112 is a bay filly called Al Fabi. She's by Tiger Ridge out of the Al Mufti mare Arabian Secret. This comes from the immediate family of Gia Secret, Honor and Glory and First Honor, who scored the highest marks of any horse ever bred at MOUTONSHOEK. The critical aspect to her pedigree is that Tiger Ridge is by Stormcat out of Weekend Surprise, who is by Secretariat out of Lassie Deer. Al Mufti himself is by Roberto out of Lassie Deer. So the mating works out with incredible balance and is sure to trigger some sparks of excellence. Tiger Ridge onto an Al Mufti mare Arabian Secret. Lot number 147 from MOUTONSHOEK is Eros Girl. She's in stable C24 and she's a daughter of Captain Al out of the Jetmaster mare Cupid. Sunshine Lover, the dam of Cupid, is by Badgerland. She herself was a champion Captain's Lover and she is an own sister to Ebony Flyer and also a half-sister to Captain's Lover. She's a magnificent walker and we've seen her move in the paddocks too. She's got a beautiful temperament, size, scope and dimension to fulfill the pedigree. Lot number 147, Eros Girl, stable C24 from MOUTONSHOEK. The final offering from MOUTONSHOEK is lot number 212. Her name is Unconditional and she's in stable C22. She's a daughter of Danehill Dancer, was born in Ireland and is out of the Hawkwing mare Love Unlimited. Love Unlimited by Hawkwing is an unraced half-sister to Soldera, the dam of Exie. Her second dam, La Petite, is by Mr. Prospector and is a 3/4 sister to Smackover Creek. An amazing pedigree. In fact, we were very lucky to get her to South Africa. Lot number 212, Unconditional, a smashing daughter of Danehill Dancer. The equation is therefore very simple. Go and see Benny van der Merwe and or Chris Gerber at the Cape Town Convention Centre to inspect their 4 fillies. 2 fillies by Tiger Ridge, a filly by Captain L, and a beautiful filly by Danehill Dancer. MOUTONSHOEK, where the horse comes first.